Happy Wednesday. I hope you all are having a wonderful Wednesday so far. This is the first week that I've moved my live streams, my weekly live streams, from Tuesday to Wednesday. So now it's going to be Wednesdays only, I guess, until something else happens. But it's going to be the same time. It's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern time. I talked about this on the last live stream a week ago when I was quite sick. Today I'm fine. Today I'm actually sitting and having some black coffee. My first coffee today. And it's going to be the first and last, frankly, because I managed to minimize my coffee consumption to just one coffee cup, which I think is a wonderful achievement, because I was going on with, 2, 3, 4 cups of coffee daily for many years. So now it is 1 cup of coffee. And I have some good news. And the good news is that I finally started writing the book. Hello, Falcon Guy. Hi there. How are you doing? What's up? There are 2 people watching. Just so that everybody understands, I usually say it in the beginning of my live stream. Every week, now on Wednesdays, I have these live streams, which are it's a chit-chat live stream. It's an opportunity for me to meet people and for people to learn about my channel and about what am I doing. So feel free to just chat, ask questions, be respectful. Falcon Guy, I think it rings a bell, but have you been on one of the live streams before? Or am I missing something? Tell me. Falcon Guy, it looks familiar. I think your handle looks familiar, but I can't tell. Yeah, I'm doing these live streams every week, so I just can't remember everybody, frankly. Unless we continue in the comments or something like that. Oh, 14 people are watching. Hello, everybody. I'm doing my regular weekly live stream, a chit-chat live stream, where I'm just meeting people, and people can ask me questions. And I'm a singer-songwriter and I'm a painter, and this is what my YouTube channel is about. So feel free to check out my stuff. I have paint-through videos, I have play-through videos, my music is on this channel. Feel free to engage. Yes, I just changed my handle name. I've been your stream. I've been your stream liar. What does that mean? Falcon Guy, wait a second, Falcon Guy. Are you Mr. N by any chance? Formerly known as Mr. N? Or tell me, I'm curious to know. I've been your stream liar. I guess you made a typo. I'm drinking coffee without sugar since August. I gotta say, it's a lot more invigorating than coffee with sugar. My husband keeps laughing at me. He says, why are you torturing yourself? And I'm like, well, I consider this to be a big achievement, considering that I've been drinking coffee since I was a teenager, like 3, 4 cups a day with sugar. For me to switch down to 1 cup of coffee per day and drink it without sugar. That's a huge achievement, I think. Ah, I saw you post in Insta. Nice painting those. Thank you very much. Wait, I think I seen you on Instagram. Probably. Most likely. So how are you doing? How is everything going? How is life treating you? There are 3 people. Someone is sending a heart. I was sent you request and followed you. I was sent you request and followed you. Okay. On Instagram. Okay, I'll follow you back after the stream. Our God says hi. Hi to you, our God. How are you doing? What's up? How is winter going on for everybody? Down here in Kentucky, it's cold. Our God says good. Excellent. I was just opening my live stream, sharing some good news. And the good news is that I finally managed to, it's difficult. I was planning to write this book for months now. I had these ideas. I was planning it, mapping it out in my mind. And, but the act of actually sitting down and starting to write the first paragraph, it's very difficult, I gotta tell you. So I finally started. So now we're talking business. It's cold. Well, it's cold here too in Kentucky. Where are you from? Are trans? Yes, I'm a trans woman. And I'm not hiding this. So according to my plan, I'm hoping, well, I plan to finish writing the whole book by early December next year. So it's going to be a 1-year project. But I think that probably I will be, at some point, I will start to publish the chapters on my WordPress blog. I think that's how I'm going to go about it. I'm still thinking it through, frankly. It was quite a messy day for me at my work. Otherwise, it was quite a good day. And it's so cold here. So cold here. Where are you located? A Falcon guy. Oh, I'm sorry asking. Our God says, no, it's sort of okay. I'm not hiding it. I think pretty much everybody on this channel, my regular subscribers, they know that I'm a trans woman and, whatever. It's not like it's a big deal or something. That's just how it is, Falcon Guy says, and congratulations for your new book. Thank you, Falcon Guy. Oh, you're in India. Our God says I'm not allowed to ask. What do you mean you're not allowed to ask? What are you talking about? Why are you not allowed to ask? What's the big problem? What's the big deal? India. So you're in India, and I'm guessing that you have winter in India too. And probably, I don't know, are you in one of the northern provinces? This coffee is very invigorating. I gotta say, it's bitter, but that's okay. So I think I will be publishing I will write, I don't know, a few chapters, and then I will start publishing the book in batches on WordPress. I already have some free articles on WordPress, which relate to the book, actually. And you can go ahead and read them because if you go to my community tab and you kind of scroll down through my posts for the past month, you will come across my WordPress link and you can go and actually read. But I think I'll just, because to sit here and write the book for a whole year and not to share anything about the book and not to allow any people in to actually read the first draft, that would suck, I think. So I think I will start publishing it little by little. Kirani Bet Sharing Laj. Amateur Review 773. What is Kirani Bet Scaring Laj? I have no idea what is that. What are you talking about? I'm from western part and now it's almost 12 Celsius, but feels like 8-9 Celsius. Pokemon Go says hi to you. Thank you for joining. Well, 12 Celsius, that's cold. That's pretty cold. But it's still better than 4 Celsius. I believe we have right here in Kentucky, in the US, we have like, I don't know what's the temperature right now. It's probably like 7. And it's probably going to be like -2 at night or something like this. Amateur reviews, I don't know. What do you mean? Can you please explain yourself? Pokemon Go, thank you. How are you guys doing? I see there are 4 people watching at this point. 4 people. That's quite the accomplishment. Well, on other news, I'm also working on the next single for the Sun City album, which ties into the same book. So there is a book that I'm now writing. There is a series of paintings, of oil paintings, which are tied into the same story. And then there's a musical album that I'm working on, also called Sun City. And so I have a whole bunch of singles which are already released, and they're available right here on my YouTube channel. If you want to check them out, they're in a separate playlist, by the way. And today I published a short with a little excerpt from the new song, the new single. And again, that's something else that I'm working on. It's still going to take me some time because I could have been writing fairly primitive riffs and doing pretty simple song structure, but I just don't like it this way. It's Sun City is more of a prog metal album, and so it has to be interesting. It has to be interesting. So it takes more time to write. By the way, nice painting behind you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can actually show this painting. I finished it last night. Let me show you. There is a glare here because the paint is still fresh. But yeah, here it is. That's a new painting. There is a girl. Her name is Rosie. She's in Gaza. So, and her account is called Rosie in Gaza. And so I painted a portrait of her. She is originally from Kuwait, but she's Palestinian, and she is helping local Gazans with humanitarian aid and such things. And here is the Christmas themed painting, which I haven't published yet as a print, but I will publish it as a print very soon. There we go. Daily reminder, Jesus Christ loves you, John. Randy, just for the record, I'm not Christian. If you want to preach about Jesus Christ, start your own live stream and talk about Jesus Christ over there. All right? Yep. Amateur Review 73 says, I don't know how to read it. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's is it Hungarian? Maybe. I don't know how to read this. Pardon me. Why don't you write for a web series? It seems very popular nowadays. I think it waters down the story. That's why I don't want to. Here's the thing. I have a story in mind, and I want to tell that story in full. It's not that I'm a professional writer even. I'm a musician in the first place. I'm a musician and a painter. But I also have this story which I want to tell. And I think that if I try to chase what is more popular, then I won't be able to tell a good story. That's what I think. In whichever case, I think first and foremost, I have to write a book. A book is a reliable format. You know what I mean? It's a reliable classical format, which allows for me as an author to tell the story in full, to express everything that I want to express, to make it full length, to explore the characters, to give all the background, to show the plot in its entirety. But then, after the book is written, then I don't know, maybe it would make sense to think about, web series or something like this. I don't know. But the way I think about it, first and foremost, is it first has to be a book. Santa is in hospital, yes. There is a reason for this. Because Santa has diabetes. That's why Santa is in hospital. And he's in the hospital because he's drinking too much. Well, he's drinking Coca-Cola. And that's why he's in a hospital with diabetes. Now, all of a sudden, we have rain, probably cold rain, right behind the garage door. I hope it doesn't turn into freezing rain, frankly. Plus, there is, just because some things are popular right now, that doesn't necessarily mean, in my opinion, that doesn't mean that that it's a good thing to do or the right thing to pursue. A lot of things are popular, but a lot of things come and go, and they just live one day. Then it must be 25th century Santa, lol. Well, here is the thing, and let me tell you a little story. This is something that I learned about Santa fairly recently. Frankly, I didn't know this. So this is about the Coca-Cola company, and this is a real story. This is a historic, it's historically accurate. I'm not making this up. So 125 years ago, the Coca-Cola company they were selling their soda mostly in spring and in summer. People were drinking soda when it was hot. The Coca-Cola company, they kind of wanted to sell more product. Gosh, that's loud. There's like a storm outside. Wow. Do you hear this noise? That's the wind and the rain. Holy cow. Anyways, so in the beginning, people were buying soda, the Coca-Cola. They were buying it in spring and in summer. But then in fall and in winter, people weren't buying. And so the advertisers in the Coca-Cola company, they thought, well, we need to do something about this. We need to advertise Coca-Cola to the people. We need to sell it to them somehow so that we don't have a slump in sales. So there was a saint who was about to be decanonized by the Catholic Church, Santa Claus. And the advertisers from the Coca-Cola company, they took this idea. They also took a character, a Danish thief, a folk character, and they took Saint Nicholas. They took all of these three characters, blended them into a new character, called him Santa, Santa Claus, made him into an old man with a white beard, dressed in a red suit. You see what I mean? And put him on the Coca-Cola bottles 125 years ago. And ever since then, they were able to advertise and sell Coca-Cola on Christmas. So the reason why many people around the world think that Santa Claus is this old man who drinks Coca-Cola is because the company Coca-Cola created this character 125 years ago as an advertisement, as a marketing strategy. And this is how people started to buy Coca-Cola in winter. And you can imagine that the Coca-Cola company made a lot of money off of this. And as you already know, as you probably know, Coca-Cola is also not a very healthy beverage, and it contains a lot of sugar. And a lot of people around the world suffer from diabetes. But particularly, a lot of people suffer from diabetes, cardiovascular disease, excessive sugar, obesity in the United States. So that's a can of worms. Santa Claus is not this benevolent character, and he's not really, you know, some sort of Christian saint or something like this. No, he's in his entirety, he's a creation of the Coca-Cola company. That's what he is. Look it up. If you, I might have left out some details, but fact check me. Look it up. You'll be surprised. I like science fiction so much. And yes, it's correct. First, the book must need to be viral or bestseller. By then, may your book be noticed, so visualized to the public, just like J.K. Rowling. Well, I'll try to do my best. You know, I'm trying to write a good book. Yes, I thought someone using plastic around you. It was quite noisy. Mate will get more colder later. I think there was like a sudden blast of wind, and I guess it was rain, probably, or snow. I don't know. I think it was probably rain. And this rain was slamming against the door of the garage. And so it was loud. 3 years ago, when was that? No, in 2021, 4 years ago, we had a really nasty ice storm. And what was happening is that it was raining, but simultaneously, it was so cold that the rain was turning into ice in the air. And so all of this water, which was intensely falling off the skies, of course, right? All of this rain was falling onto the trees and the bushes and the vegetation and all of this, and it was freezing almost instantly. And so next day, when I got out to see what's going on, trees were bent over under the weight of ice. There was that one tree that we have behind the house over there. It used to look upward. And so all of its branches, because they were overburdened by ice, by frozen water, they were all bent down like this. So the whole tree was bent down. A lot of trees snapped and had broken. A lot of trees had fallen. It was in February, I believe. It was a horrible ice storm with strong winds, and but it was just this nasty combination of things when it's raining, but then it freezes very quickly, and then you don't really have snow. Everything is covered in ice. You know, all the grass, the old grass is covered in ice, the ground is covered in ice, the trees are covered in ice, and everything is glittering. It's very beautiful, but it's dangerous because those fallen trees were breaking power lines and there were power outages. It was nasty. I hope it's not that same thing again. That was quite interesting story about Coca-Cola, but that was interesting. Look it up. It's pretty interesting what the advertisers do in order to sell their product. So my painting, my Christmas-themed painting with Santa on a stretcher in a hospital, that's satire. Some people won't like it. Some people are going to get triggered and they are going to wonder, why do I have Santa on a stretcher? What's going on? But that's what's going on. America weather, it's really strange weather. Yeah, it is. And it also largely depends on what state are we talking about. Because I'm living in Kentucky, I'm living in one of the southern states, but the weather can go wildly different here. It can get cold or it can be really warm this time of year. Mostly it's cold though and rainy. So it sort of depends. We have, gosh, I keep forgetting, what do they call this? There is like a stream of air that goes through the United States, goes down from the north, down the western coast, into kind of like a V, and it goes down to the south, and then it goes up towards the northeast coast, the northern part of the east coast. So it's like it's this kind of motion, this stream of air. And sometimes it shifts higher to the north, and sometimes it goes deeper down south. And to a large extent, it shapes the weather in here, where I live in Kentucky. Like California and Illinois must have more strange weather, I have heard. Yeah, California and Illinois are vastly different. As far as weather and weather patterns, it's just very different places. And California too, it depends where in California, because Northern California, that's one thing. Southern California is a whole different story, and it's a pretty long state. It's pretty elongated, you know. And I have to say that local weather still freaks me out, and it feels very strange to me because I'm not even from the United States. I'm an immigrant. And where I come from, there is no such thing as tornadoes. And here in America, tornadoes happen. There is a tornado season every year. Where I come from, there are no tornadoes altogether. Yeah, there are strong thunderstorms, things like that can happen, but not tornadoes. What do you have in India? Do you have any specific outstanding weather features? Something that makes your region different from other places? I think Russia must be so cold now, like -10 or -20. I'd have to look it up. Moscow, for example, I don't know. I don't think it's like I don't know. I don't think it's -20. Usually December is warmer. January, that's when it gets cold. And February. Late January, it can get really cold. But December, not really. It is definitely colder than here. That's for sure. I don't know. I'd have to look it up on my phone, and I will do it later, certainly. For those people who don't know my channel, who are wondering what am I doing here, I'm kind of doing a midstream little announcement, like I like to do. So every week, nowadays it's Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm doing a little chit-chat live stream where I'm just sitting and talking to people. You're free to ask questions. You're free to, tell a story or something like this. We can discuss something. It's all good. That's what this live stream is for. That's one. And two, of course, for those who don't know, I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm a painter and a writer nowadays. So I want to invite you to check out my content here on my YouTube channel. Go ahead, explore my community tab because I have I post regularly my paintings. So there are links to my Etsy store where you can look up my paintings. You can purchase my paintings there or prints of my paintings. You can see my paint through videos here on the YouTube channel. You can listen to my music. And, if you like my content, subscribe. And if you don't like my content, don't subscribe. That's okay too. I'm not forcing anybody, But I have to say this because people show up and they don't always know who I am and what do I do. That's what I do. In India, have many different types of weather, like some other countries. Do I understand correctly that India is really large, and because it's large, you have different climatic zones, and you would have different weather patterns in different parts of the country? Is that true? It's the same story in Russia too, because Russia is not a uniform sort of country. Weather patterns are different, and it varies from the north to the Central Asian regions, to the Western European part of Russia, and Eastern Russia is a whole different story. The Pacific Eastern Russia, Siberia itself is a pretty large region. So after the Ural Mountains, that's a different thing. And I'm just guessing India is not. I mean, India is a whole subcontinent, so it's huge. So I would assume that yes, different weather pattern. Like some of the parts so cold in winter, and some of the part is too hot, like 50 Celsius sometimes. Oh my God, 50 Celsius. How do you survive 50 Celsius? I'm just wondering. Mother Mary, God damn it. Oy. 50 Celsius. I've experienced at best maybe 42 Celsius, like 40, 42. And it was a lot. 42 is a lot. But 50, guys, how do you survive stuff like this? Can you even be out in the open sun when it's 50 Celsius? I don't know. I think it would burn my skin, frankly. God damn it, 50 Celsius. That's crazy. But I have to say that, at least for me, it's easier to deal with hot weather than to deal with cold weather. My nearby city got recorded temperature in summer of 51 Celsius in this summer. Oh, wow. 51. I am from a big city. I'm from Moscow. And I know what a hot summer is like. I don't know what 51 Celsius is because that's way too much. But I do know what 32 Celsius feels like when you live in a city and the asphalt heats up and there is heavy traffic and you have to go somewhere daily, to work or something like this. And you walk on this asphalt and all of this heat is hitting you. You know what I mean? And it just, and there is no air. You know what I mean? It's horrible. And now I'm trying to imagine what does it feel like to be in a city when it's 51 Celsius? How do you even survive this? How do you go about your daily business? How do you drive in traffic, in public transport? God, that should be horrible, really. Nearby city got recorded temperature in summer 51 Celsius. Boy, I guess I'm lucky that I'm not living there. I wouldn't want to be in a large city with 51 degrees Celsius. That's crazy. Like Mirage in highway, and no one is willing to drive or walk in the afternoon. Those cities also heat wave alerts. Oh, God. Yeah, that should be horrible. I had some hot summers in Moscow, but it never exceeded 33, maybe 33 degrees, 34 at worst. But I don't remember 35. Maybe there was weather like this before I was born, or maybe when I was there a little, but 50 is just insane. Okay, we got a spammer here. Yeah, there you go. Boy, we had a particularly bad summer in the year 2010 in Moscow. In Moscow, in the Moscow region, there were fires around Moscow. Gosh, I don't know what you call these. These are like underground fires. There is a particular type of soil which, when there's hot weather, it can catch fire. And so this is weird fire because it's basically like it burns underground. You know what I mean? And so you have a lot of smoke, and these fires, they're hard to put out, and they're to the south from Moscow. And the whole city there was this heavy smog hanging over the city. A lot of animals died that summer, and elderly people died too, because there was just not enough air. And it was a very hot summer, and the year was 2010. I remember it was a horrible year. Hello, Mr. Ed. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for showing up. I was wondering, where are you? I already had my coffee without sugar. How are you doing, Mr. N? How is everything? Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm yawning. Gosh, I need more sleep this time of year. Here, cold is not likely summer, but sometimes in cold western part also come down to 2-3 Celsius. Here, cold is not likely summer, but sometimes in cold western part also come down to, okay. Oh, Mr. Rand, how is your move to Pennsylvania going on? Have you moved already, or are you still in the process? I'm going to be, after the live stream, I'm going to be unpacking a photo camera that I got finally. Oh, that's another thing that happened. Mr. Rand says, oh, wow, I see you have some lovely racist chasers in the chat. Yes. Yes, I just banned this person. This person shows up. It's not the first live stream that this person shows up. And every time they say approximately the same thing. And every time I'm just banning them. I really hate racists. I'm doing great. I'm currently gathering more cash. I'm working double 60s this month. How about you? Oh, Mr. Ren, Mr. Ren. I am not sick anymore. I was sick last week, remember? And it was pretty bad. So I'm back to normal, more or less. I started writing a book. Finally, I started actually writing the book, which is awesome. Oh, you paid off some big debts. Congratulations. It's almost 3:30 a.m. here, about to sleep now. See you. Okay, Falcon Guy, thank you very much for showing up. And see you next time. I'll be here next week at 4 p.m. my time. Thank you for showing up. Working double 60s. What do you mean working double 60s? This month. Double 60s. 60 hours a week. Okay, got it. That's a lot, 60 hours a week. My husband is working, well, he's kind of part-time, formally part-time, but he's working 35 to 40 hours a week. $60 hours a week is a lot. Oy. I'm painting as usual. Finished another painting last night. I'll make a print of this painting. I had a problem with my phone, and damn girl, I'm about to steal that vape. They make those things smell so nice. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And I'm just, I gotta say, you know, I know that a lot of people are saying, well, vaping is bad for you. Yes, it's bad for you. Yes, it's dangerous and all this. Yes, I'm not advertising this, but I'm a former smoker. I smoked cigs since I was 12 years old, and I was a heavy smoker all of my life until 2017, and that's when I switched to vaping. But I have to say that there is sort of a hidden benefit in vaping that I find, because the vape juice tastes sort of sweet. You know what I mean? It allows me to eat less sweet stuff. It makes it easier for me, in other words, to avoid sweet foods. Not that I was ever addicted to sugar a lot, but there was a time in my life when I was baking sweet stuff. I was eating jams, you know, and preserves, and making sweet meringue, if you know what that is, and, you know, cooking all sorts of things. I was leaning into sweet stuff a lot more. But then when I moved here to the US, and I discovered how many people around here are obese, how many people have diabetes, I rolled back all of this sugary stuff big time. So now I'm drinking 1 cup of coffee per day, and I drink it without sugar. And I also avoid, you know, sugary stuff, sugary meals, and all of this. I cut out sugar big time. And I have to say that vaping in this regard helps me a little bit as well to curb and to cut out the craving for sugar. Because while I really don't like the very sweet flavors of vape juice, I prefer the more sort of fruity ones, you know what I mean? But, you know, somehow it works. Doesn't help my family smokes pancake and syrup smelling vape. Pancake, that's a little too much for me. That's too sweet, frankly. And syrup smelling vape, yeah, that's way too sweet. My husband likes these sweeter flavors, like cookies with something, gosh, what is it called? Butterscotch, something like that. It's way too sweet for me. I just can't. The one that I'm vaping right now is raspberry grape acai, it says. I baked the best chocolate chip cookies ever for the holidays. Oh, well, you see, and I just got me today from Amazon. I love the fruitiest, girliest drinks. Lol. Well, I can relate to this. I understand. I just got me some silicone forms for chocolate on Amazon. Just before the live stream, they arrived. So I'm going to make my own chocolate. I already tried to make my own chocolate out of cocoa powder, raw cocoa powder, honey, and what else did I use? Oh, and cocoa butter, raw cocoa butter. So I'm going to make my own milk chocolate. And I think it's going to be pretty easy to make. But the bonus here is that I will be able to have control over how sweet it is. You know what I mean? And all the ingredients are natural, unlike the chocolate that they sell at stores, the big box stores. I love chocolate, but chocolate from the stores, it usually has something else there. It usually has some chemicals and whatever, and it's not very healthy. So the thing about the phone, I don't know, Mr. M, do you have an Android? I have an Android. I have a Samsung Galaxy. So what these bastards did just a week ago, they rolled out a new update, which screwed up my camera. It used to be that when I would open my camera, I would have that little thing where you can point with your finger and you can focus the image, right? When you're going to take a picture or you're going to film a video, and you can you can adjust the exposure and sharpness and these kind of things. Now what they did with the latest update is that they just took away that function. And so all of it is now automatic. And those, previously there was that little ring there, which you could kind of point with your finger, and a little lock for brightness that you could adjust, these things. Now it's all grayed out. So the latest update for Samsung took that function away, which basically made it very difficult for me to take pictures of my artwork with my phone. I got really frustrated with this because I was looking for a way to roll back this update, and there is no way to roll back this update. And I didn't take pictures of my artwork. That's just what it is. So after I'm done with the live stream, I'm going to unbox this little camera, which I got on Amazon. I don't know. I'll have to test it. This one. It says 64 megapixels and 5K Ultra HD, 16x digital zoom. So I don't know. We'll see how it works. I'll have to test it. But this update from Samsung was just, damn it. I really don't like it. So you're into chocolate chip cookies. You probably won't believe me, but I am not into chocolate chip cookies. I know a lot of people are, and I don't know. I think it's, to my taste, it's way over the top. It's way too sweet. But I like chocolate. I really like chocolate, especially white chocolate. Well, and milk chocolate too. There's one person there, and I wonder who that is. I wonder if that's you, Mr. N. Mr. N, do you ever rest? Do you even have weekends? If you're working 60 hours a week, if you're working 60 hours a week, I just want to wish for you to get enough sleep, at least, especially this time of year, and not to get sick. Now that I started writing the book, I'm going to be writing every day, and I think that I don't know. I think I will write the first 2 or 3 chapters, and then I will find a solution to publish it on WordPress. I don't know on what schedule am I going to be, how often am I going to be publishing these chapters. I will put them behind a paywall because it's not going to be for free. I have some free articles about the Sun City on my WordPress blog, but this will be paid. This is going to be paid content, and this is going to be the first draft. As a chapter is written, I'll put it out there and I'll publish it, I think. But it's just, I don't think it's going to happen right now. I think it's going to happen probably a month from now, something like this. We'll see. I'm thinking through this. And meanwhile, I'm also working on the new single. But, gosh, it's not an easy one. And I just don't know how soon am I going to release it. Cool Shirt, what's your favorite song? Whoa, well, I have a bunch of favorite songs, frankly. I love the Iowa album a lot. Left Behind is a damn good song. My Plague is a very good song, and I actually made a cover of this song a few years ago. And I consider publishing it again on my YouTube channel. I like AOB from the Gray chapter as well. That's a good song. And hell, I like the self-titled album as well. That's a good album. Oh, and one of my favorite songs is Vermilion, but not Vermilion Part 2, Vermilion Part 1. I love that song. Client Guitarist. Yeah, that's Client Guitarist. Client Guitarist, thank you for showing up and thank you for asking actually a relevant question. Because I was kind of sitting here wondering, like, if anybody's ever got to ask me a question about Slipknot, I mean, granted, I'm a singer-songwriter myself and a painter, and all this, and it just happens so that today I'm wearing a Slipknot t-shirt. But I was just wondering if anybody ever is going to ask me anything. Old school Slipknot is always great. Oh, yeah. And I gotta say, I love the sound on the Iowa album. It's so friggin' aggressive. It's so raw. I love the production. The bass tone is just, I don't know. I'm biased probably. Really, I'm probably biased, but I just love the sound. And the guitars are so juicy and so nasty, but they're mixed so well, Not to mention Corey's vocals and all the rawness and energy and the aggression that goes into that. It's just, I learned to scream mostly singing to the Iowa album, to the self-titled album, and to the Iowa album. And then, to a certain extent, Volume 3, Subliminal Verses. And I'm surprised, that I didn't blow my voice back in the day when I was learning to scream. And that was like, what, 25 years ago? 20 years ago, roughly, yeah. Because, it's only all of these years later that I learned, really, that what you hear on a recording, on a studio recording, is not necessarily what it really is in real life. And I mean, some of the techniques that Corey is using are not very healthy. So, yeah. What's your favorite song or album? I don't know. I have to say that I didn't really get into the latest album by Slipknot. Well, other than Unsainted is a cool song, of course. And Unsainted was the song that I was listening to on repeat as I was moving to the United States. As I was flying across the Atlantic, I was listening to Unsainted. Like I say, it was an extremely stressful time in 2019. Getting over here, and gosh, Slipknot helped me as usual. And that song, Unsainted, just saw me through a lot. Also, the whole Iowa album and the first album also good, but a bit sloppy. Yeah, it is a bit sloppy, but you know, that's to me, that's part of the charm. Because you know, and this is another thing. I have a similar thing about Marilyn Manson, for example, because Marilyn Manson was another band that I was listening to when I was a teenager and kind of getting out of my teenage years. I really, to this day, I like the first albums. I love Mechanical Animals and Antichrist Superstar, that album. But the thing that I like about it is that it is somewhat sloppy. It's raw. There is no autotune going on there, you know? It's not overproduced. It's not sterilized. But then when the Golden Age of Grotesque came out, it felt sterile, you know, because it was kind of way too overproduced. And it almost felt like it's not Marilyn Manson anymore. But still to this day, I like to listen to songs from Antichrist Superstar from that album. Like songs like Tourniquet, for example, or The Minute of Decay, or Mr. Superstar. And I just love the rawness of it. And it's a vibe, you know what I mean? And that, I think it makes it unique. It's like a microcosm of its own. And that same thing I see with approach to production, you know, with Slipknot's earlier albums. That's why I like it. Yeah, I'm a big nu metal fan. I'm also a fan of Korn. I'm a big fan of Korn as well. But I got to say that nu metal is not the only thing that I listen to and that I like. I also, I was more into these guys back in the day than now. Now I'm a little tired of them. I'm talking about Dream Theater. I used to be into Dream Theater in the year 2001, 2002, when I first discovered them. My mind was blown for about 5 years. So I was like heavily leaning into prog metal, this kind of thing. But then at some point, I discovered that I had more of a pull for bands like Slipknot. Exactly because of their raw edge and that energy. Like Dream Theater are cool, and I have tremendous respect for the band and for their musicality and the musicianship and the writing and the, you know, John Petrucci, of course, who doesn't know John Petrucci, right? An amazing guitar player. But Dream Theater, they are very intellectual, you know what I mean? And Slipknot is more of kind of a raw energy force, and that's what I love these guys for. Fear Factory, to a certain extent, not much really. I never got into Fear Factory, frankly. But I got to say that my blend of preferences was pretty wild because I was listening to Marilyn Manson, System of a Down at the same time, Cold Chamber, Slipknot, Dream Theater, Joe Satriani, you know Joe Satriani, maybe, with his instrumental licks and all of this. And I'm to this day a big fan of his guitar playing. I was listening to Radiohead and Placebo at the same time, which is pretty far from nu metal, you know what I mean? I was listening to pop music, like telepop music. There is this band, telepop music, some electronic music, Garbage, the band with Shirley Manson. I love these guys as well. And so it was kind of a, I don't know, it was kind of a wild blend of many things. And sometimes throughout the month, I just moved, you know, leaning, for several days, I would listen to metal bands mostly because I felt like it. And then I would get out of it and switch for a few days and listen to something poppier, you know. My first album was Ozzy Osbourne, Bark at the Moon. That got me in metal, lol. Wow. Gosh, what was my first thing? I'm wondering. I think these were the Marilyn Manson tapes, really. Oh, someone from the Music Academy, a saxophone player. I was, right, he was my classmate. I was a singer, and he was a saxophone player, and we went to the same music academy, and so we were trying to organize a band or something like this, whatever. So he recorded a tape, and on this tape there was like a whole bunch of stuff that he liked. There was Limp Bizkit and Methods of Mayhem. There was a band. Gosh, I remember maybe one song from these guys. Some alternative metal, Coal Chamber, Feed My Dreams. There was a song, Feed My Dreams, by Feed My Dreams. Is that what it's called? By Coal Chamber. The year was 2002, I believe. But before that, I met another buddy of mine, and we were trying to, you know, put together a band and whatever. But he was into like neoclassical metal, this sort of stuff, and he was more into like Metallica and Megadeth and Yngwie Malmsteen and this kind of thing. But I had to say that Yngwie Malmsteen really didn't sit with me, because once I discovered that, I mean, I found his playing, yes, very technical and all this, but I have some classical music education, you know, so when I heard that he's using the same licks and the same arpeggios and it's the same sort of neoclassical feel over and over again, I got quickly bored with that and had to move on. So I don't know what was my first album. I think it goes back to when I was to my school days, when I was discovering Nirvana, something like this, maybe. And then from that point onward, it was like a cascade of things. But it was an interesting time back in Russia. I was 12 years in 1991 when the USSR was no more. So I started, when I was a kid, I went to a Soviet school. And then after 1991, all of a sudden I was attending not a Soviet school. And there was a lot of change coming in, a lot of music coming in, which was previously not allowed, you know, with a whole bunch of things. The earliest that I remember, I think I've discovered Queen, the song "The Show Must Go On," in the year 1991 when I was 12 years old. And that was the same year that Freddie died. And I couldn't understand the gravity of it. I didn't quite know who Freddie Mercury was because I was a kid. But I remember that there was some immense sadness attached to it. And generally speaking, 1991 was a wild year. And a lot of things were happening in the country. And I got exposed to a lot of music and a lot of things. Well, it was just immense. It was huge. The year 1991 was crazy. So I had a Brazilian teacher that always blasted Sepultura in the classroom. Was pretty cool. Sepultura, I know these guys too. Yeah, Sepultura, they're cool. Another moderator just handled this. Why is it held for review? I wonder. There is nothing wrong with this message. Guys, I'm going over an hour right now, and I think I should be wrapping up this stream. I'm getting a little tired. I want to thank everybody for showing up, who had shown up. Client guitarists, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. Let's stay in touch. I have to go to work. Have a great day. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining, and you have a wonderful day too. I have to get to doing things too. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for being here. And until next week, I will show up next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, greetings from Holland. So you're from Holland. Wow, that's cool. I'm here in the United States, in Kentucky. And next week on Wednesday, about this time, I will be live streaming again. So if you want to show up and, let's have a conversation, I'll be happy to see you. All right? Bye-bye. Have a wonderful rest of the Wednesday.